Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're buckling up for an in-depth look at the world of Formula One. We're specifically zeroing in on Carlos Sainz's really intriguing journey with the Williams team this 2025 season. It's a story that's been, well, far from straightforward, packed with initial high hopes, some genuinely surprising performance from the car itself, and, quite frankly, a series of incredibly frustrating setbacks. We've pulled together a stack of recent reports, analyses, and, crucially, direct interviews with Sainz himself to really get into what's happening on the ground.
That's right. Our mission for this deep dive is to really distill the most important insights direct from Carlos Sainz's perspective. We want to understand the challenges Williams is grappling with, grasp how the team is navigating this demanding growth process, and ultimately what his experience tells us about what it truly takes to compete right at the top of F1. This isn't just about race results, the ones you see flash up on screen. It's about digging into the underlying dynamics of a team trying to get back to the front.
So let's maybe zoom out a bit first, get the big picture. Carlos Sainz, he's known for his consistency, right? His ability to bring the car home. But his 2025 season with Williams, it seems like a real mixed bag so far. What's the snapshot for us right now, just looking at where things stand?
Yeah, that's quite the paradox, actually. And
yeah.
That's where the story gets really interesting. Despite the car, the FW47, showing a surprising level of competitiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely exceeding Sainz's own initial expectations for 2025 in terms of raw pace. The results on track, they just haven't followed. His best finish so far is 8th place. He got that in Saudi Arabia and then again at Imola. And unfortunately, as things stand, he's sitting a rather disappointing 14th in the World Championship. That gap between the car's potential and his points tally is, well, it's stark.
That is the puzzling part, isn't it? If the car has this underlying speed, if it's performing better than even he thought it would, why isn't that translating? Why aren't we seeing more points, a better championship position? What's the big disconnect here? What's holding them back?
Well, the core issue seems to be a persistent and honestly relentless string of frustrating reliability problems. Sainz himself specifically called out 3 consecutive failures, just devastating in the middle of a season. He faced that critical brake failure. It stopped him from even starting the race in Austria. Can you imagine? Just sitting there, ready to go, and the car fails before you even get off the line.
Oh, that's brutal. Just brutal.
The good news on that specific issue is the team thinks they understand it now. They're confident it won't happen again. But the problems aren't just on his car. His teammate, ALBON, he's also been hit by recurring engine issues. Sainz described it as a strange problem because apparently it only shows up on race days.
Only on race days. How do you even diagnose that?
Exactly. It makes it incredibly difficult, almost impossible, for the team to simulate it or diagnose it properly during practice, either back at the factory or, the track. It's like chasing a ghost.
So what does all this mean? For the team, and maybe more acutely, for Sainz himself. It must be incredibly disheartening, infuriating even, knowing you've got the potential, the car's quick enough, but you just can't convert it into results.
Precisely. And Sainz, he articulated this frustration very clearly. He described it as frustrating and difficult to be 12 races with so many altibajos, which, basically means so many ups and downs, a relentless roller coaster, but without any of the fun.
Yeah, just the drops.
Right. He noted that in races like Canada, Austria, Barcelona, the car's potential and the speed both he and ALBON showed was much, much higher than the actual results. That clearly points to a lot of lost points that could totally change how their season looks. He even said he believes that if things had just gone smoothly, without these reliability issues cropping up, both he and ALBON could realistically be fighting for like P7, P8, maybe even P9 in the championship.
Wow. That's a huge difference from battling around P14. It really speaks volumes about the frustration, doesn't it?
It really does. It's the difference between being a proper midfield contender and just, an occasional points threat.
Okay, so Sainz admits there's this certain concern in the team about reliability. You'd expect that. But he also suggests this tough period, despite how painful it must be, is actually part of a bigger, crucial learning phase for Williams as a whole. That sounds a bit counterintuitive. How can having a competitive car actually expose weaknesses in a positive way?
Right. This is where it gets really interesting, and it's a key insight, I think. Sainz isn't just complaining about things breaking. He's highlighting a fundamental thing about high performance. Success, or even just the potential for success, it always exposes weakness. When a system, like an F1 team, gets pushed right to its limits by a genuinely competitive car, one that's fighting for points, forcing aggressive strategy calls, demanding peak performance everywhere, it reveals exactly where the hidden vulnerabilities are.
It's like a stress test for the whole organization.
Exactly, a massive stress test. And it's not just mechanical failures. SAINZ'S pointed to things like strategy execution during a race, how they handle qualifying, even the subtle communication stuff. He genuinely sees this as a great test for the team. It gives them this invaluable real-world chance to learn exactly where they need to improve, where they need to shore things up, refine processes, get better tools. If they really want to fight for titles again down the line, it's painful, sure, but it's a necessary diagnostic. You just don't get that kind of clarity when you're running at the back.
So the current frustrations, yeah, they're painful right now, but they're actually giving Williams critical data, deep insights for long-term growth. It sounds like they're identifying the whole ecosystem that needs fixing, not just swapping out one faulty part for another. That's a much bigger picture view.
Absolutely. It's about building that robust, championship-ready foundation. And for a team like Williams, with all their history, this phase, though tough, is absolutely vital.
Okay, so given these challenges, what are Williams actually doing about it right now? Are there any new developments, updates for the car on the horizon that might change things?
Yes, there is an update coming for the FW47, but SAINZ'S clarified something important about it. He emphasized this specific improvement was actually developed a long time ago. It was based on early testing, simulations, not a quick reaction to these recent problems.
So it's a planned thing, not a panic button fix.
Exactly. It's a planned incremental improvement, not some radical overhaul because of the current issues. But it's definitely something the team is looking forward to. It should, hopefully, give them a noticeable step up in overall performance, help unlock more of that potential we were talking about.
What's really striking, though, is SAINZ'S belief, his unwavering belief in the car's basic speed, its potential, even before this update. It sounds like he genuinely thinks that if they can just have a normal weekend, avoid the errors, the reliability gremlins, the results will just come. That shows a lot of trust in the fundamental design, doesn't it?
It really does. And for SAINZ'S personally, Silverstone this weekend, it holds a very special place for him. It's where he won his first ever single-seater race, and famously, his first F1 Grand Prix back in 2022. There's a real emotional connection there.
Yeah, I remember that win.
He explicitly said he hopes Silverstone can be the cradle of the rebirth for both Williams and himself. A real turning point. He sounds remarkably optimistic about it, actually, stated quite firmly, "Here we will go well." He believes if they can just keep the reliability issues away just for one weekend, they have the pace to actually lead the midfield fight at their home race, which would be a huge statement, wouldn't it, for both him and the team?
Absolutely. A massive boost if they could pull that off. Now, with all these ups and downs, the clear challenges, and you know how the F1 rumor mill is always churning, what about SAINZ'S long-term future? Where does his commitment really lie amidst all this?
Yeah, he's been incredibly clear on this. Very firm, actually. Left no room for doubt. His commitment to Williams is for 2 years and more. That's the direct quote. He explicitly shot down those rumors linking Verstappen to Mercedes and therefore maybe him to Red Bull. Called them just that, rumors, nothing more.
So he's shutting that door quite firmly.
Very firmly. He trusts the decision he made to join Williams. He said repeatedly he believes in the team's path, the direction they're going. He's not looking shaky, not looking for a way out. His future seems genuinely tied to Williams right now.
So beyond just his speed on track, which is obviously vital, what's the wider value of a driver like SAINZ'S, especially for a team like Williams? That's clearly in this critical growth phase. It sounds like he brings more than just lap times.
Oh, definitely. He brings huge experience, brain power, and a real development capability. SAINZ'S himself admitted the workload at Williams is obviously greater than at, say, Ferrari or McLaren, simply because they don't yet have all the same advanced tools, the sheer number of people, the big simulation resources those top teams have.
Right, they're still building up.
Exactly. And he knows Williams signed him precisely for his ability to help in those areas, providing detailed feedback, guiding the technical direction, basically being a proper development driver as well as a racer. And crucially, he says he enjoys that part of it. He likes the challenge of building something. He seems really confident the results will come, maybe after the summer break, maybe here at Silverstone, maybe next year. But he emphasizes his trust in the groundwork they're laying down now, both at the factory and at the track. He sees himself as integral to that whole process, not just driving the car, but helping build the future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear, isn't it? The Williams 2025 season with Carlos Sainz is, well, it's a compelling story, a complex one. It's a powerful testament to that tough journey F1 teams go through, where you've got this raw potential, surprising performance even, but it's constantly battling against that absolute need for flawless execution and rock-solid reliability.
Absolutely. This situation, it isn't just about the points tally or where they are in the championship right now. It's about that painful but ultimately invaluable process of growth, of learning in this incredibly high-stakes world of Formula One. And it does raise an important question maybe for you to think about. In any big project, any high-performance goal, whether it's F1 or something else, how much pain is really worth the gain? The gain of understanding what it really takes to build something truly capable of competing right at the very top. What sacrifices are needed on that road?
That's a great thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you gained some fascinating insights today into the challenging but maybe ultimately optimistic journey of Carlos Sainz and Williams in Formula One.